the day I was diagnosed with cancer, I came home and I saw all of my supplements and I was like, wow, okay, they didn't do me any good. And I actually threw them out. I was crying, I was angry. I was like, wow, what a waste of time. Like, I do all the right things. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I get exercise. And here I am, you know, and I have cancer. I take my supplements. What a waste of time. And, you know, I like looking back now at that time, I think really the only thing that I really wasn't doing for my health at the time was sleeping properly, because I was a junior doctor for the 7 years previous to the diagnosis, and not getting enough sleep. You know, I was up overnight doing 100-hour weeks, 24-hour shifts, 36-hour calls, and that does have an impact on your immune function. You know, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer, which is driven by HPV, so I think my system just could not clear it because it was immunosuppressed due to the sleep deprivation. That's my belief. But the point being is that patients often express this idea to me as well. If I diagnose them with any illness, there's often, they'll come back and they're like, Darren, I don't drink, I don't smoke. What? And it's a really common response. And what I always say back to patients is, keep up your healthy habits. Keep it up. Keep looking after yourself. You're doing the right thing. It's not a waste of time. And those healthy habits will stand to you as you go through treatment now. You know, and it's important to remember as well that with illness, there's not always like direct cause and effect, like not always. You know, there's this thing, epigenetics. So that means that illness is a combination of our genetics, you know, what we inherit from our parents, and our environment and our lifestyle factors. So things like drinking, smoking, etc. So they say, you know, that genetics loads the gun, and the environment and your lifestyle habits pull the trigger. But then there's always just this element of bad luck or things that are almost inexplicable. You know, and it's not always the case. You know, if somebody has liver disease, it doesn't mean that they're a drinker. If they're a smoker, it doesn't mean, or if they have lung disease, it does not mean that they're a smoker. If somebody is diagnosed with diabetes, it does not mean that they're eating too much sugar, you know. So I just wanted to share this message because it's important to not beat yourself up if you were diagnosed with an illness. Don't blame yourself. You know, it's not always something you've been doing. Sometimes it's beyond your control. Really common response as well in those initial moments when you make a new diagnosis. People often say, is it something I'm eating? Is it something I'm eating? Sometimes it might be, but a lot of the time it's really not. You know, it's just that mix of epigenetics and sometimes bad luck thrown in as well for good measure. Obviously, as time went on, I started to take my supplements again, of course, and I got back into my healthy habits. Probably about 2 months later, I was like, right, okay, let's just get back into this. But I just wanted to share that message. If you have any thoughts or ideas or anything you'd like to contribute to this conversation, please do drop them below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.